2003, back when Amazon was little more than a glorified bookstore, and when Netflix and chill meant to order a DVD on Netflix and wait for it to arrive in the post. 2003 was a year before prevalent online video streaming, and although there were sites and programs like Napster and LimeWire which allowed you to download music and videos, they weren't exactly legal. The only real way to easily access films and TV at the time was to go to a video rental store and rent a VHS tape or DVD, that or just buy the video outright. Apart from the lack of streaming, not everyone had a phone that they could use a portable media player to watch videos. Before we begin, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. YouTube says that most people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. If you think you are subscribed, don't forget to check. YouTube has this bug that unsubscribes people from channels they are subscribed to. So, let's get back to the video. Video game consoles have had a lot of accessories throughout the years. So what about for watching videos on a portable console such as the Game Boy Advance? You are probably aware that in the West, the Nintendo GB had special cartridges released in 2000 for that featured low-resolution TV show episodes. In Japan, however, Game Boy Advance Video did not exist. Instead, they had their own system of playing videos on the Game Boy Advance. This technology is apparently so unheard of in the West that unlike for the Western Game Boy Advance cartridges, Wikipedia doesn't even have an article for their Japanese counterpart. In Japan in 2003, AM3 created their own system for playing videos on the Game Boy Advance, a whole year before the Game Boy Advance cartridges were released. This system was called Advance Video, which admittedly has a name very similar to Game Boy Advance Video. AM3's system used a specially designed cartridge that could play videos off of a standard smart media card inserted into a slot on the side. These cards could be purchased either with content already on them, or as blank cards which could be taken to a kiosk to have an episode written on them. There were also packages that included both the adapter as well as a card, or you could buy your cards and adapter separately. After you watched a video, you could keep the card to rewatch the video later, or you could use a kiosk to rewrite the card with a new video. Something interesting to note about these cards is that they are partially transparent. These cards can hold up to 24 minutes of animated content on a standard 32 megabyte card, or 192 minutes on a 256 megabyte card. The videos are compressed using a proprietary video compression technology developed in conjunction by Actimage of France, as well as Imagica Corporation, which is also known for HDCAM compression. For titles were available for the launch in May 2003, and the adapter was available for 3,200 yen. To use the kiosk to rewrite cards, it would cost you between 100 yen and 500 yen, depending on what exactly you wanted to write on the card. To purchase a new blank card, it would cost you around 1,800 yen. These kiosks were called Advance Gacha, and were designed to be able to be set up in convenience stores and toy shops. This system was similar to the kiosk setup to allow people in Japan to write Famicom Disk System games onto discs. AM3 planned to set up over 10,000 of these smart media copying machines in Japan by the summer of 2005. These systems were distributed in conjunction with HappyNet Co. A large number of anime titles were made available. The original series announced to be distributed were Detective Conan and Time Boken. These were all available on pre-written cards, with the first episode of Detective Conan, The Roller Coaster Murder, being available in a bundle with the adapter, for only 600 yen more than the cost of the adapter itself. That's a pretty good deal if you ask me, considering to just get a blank card will set you back 1,800 yen. With the initial release, you are also paying for the novelty of portable videos. Hasbro's Videono also launched in 2003. Although the Videono discs were available at a lower price point, there are several disadvantages. The original Videono only worked in black and white, whereas the advanced video supported color. The Videono player could only be used to watch videos and had no support to play any games. The Videono had a much smaller screen, and did not support any kind of rewritable format. According to the website for LIK-Sang, a former importer of Japanese products, content for AM3's advanced video was planned to be released in stores on C-disc, which could then be later transferred to cards. It isn't known whether any C-discs with content were ever made or released. This idea is however contradicted by an article by ASCII Corp, which claims that the content would utilize DRM that tied data to hardware in order to prevent unauthorized copying. This DRM would make it very hard to write content onto the smart media cards yourself. The system adopted a special ROM-specific ID system recorded for each file, so even if it was copied onto a commercially available smart media card or even another card with a different video on it, it could not be played. This would be encrypted with data encryption and use a 128-bit encryption key which would be recorded in the media ROM, and would need to be verified before a video could be played back. Despite this, data from computers and cameras could still be recorded to the memory cards, although this likely could not be accessed with the advanced video adapter. When the Western Game Boy Advance video cartridges were released, they used DRM to stop them from being played on the GameCube Game Boy adapter, as the owners of the rights to the television series were worried that users would watch their shows on a bigger screen, or even try to record their episodes. AM3's advanced video adapters, however, work fine in the GameCube Game Boy adapter. While we are comparing differences between the two systems, while the Western advanced video cartridges sat flush with the GBA as they were standard-sized cartridges, in order to make room for the smart media card slots, the Japanese system required a larger cartridge. The adapter is 55mm long, which is about 1 centimeter less than an original Game Boy cartridge, meaning it's stuck out of a GBA by 2 centimeters. Interestingly, as the width of a Game Boy cartridge is also about 55mm, this means that the AM3's advanced video cartridge is a perfect square. The player has several functions that can be used whilst playing back video. The system can play and pause using the button. It can also fast forwards and backwards, using the right and left buttons on the D-pad respectively, and by pressing and holding forwards and backwards, you can change between 1x speed, 2x speed, 3x speed, and 4x speed. Some material would also support chapter menus, although earlier content such as the Detective Conan roller coaster murder case did not. Titles such as the Pokémon titles would support basic interactive menus which allowed the selection of either the main movie or short commercials for other Pokémon movies. The player contains no decoding chip, but instead uses the ARM7 CPU of the GBA in conjunction with the specially developed fast video codec to allow for video playback. This allowed the player to be built at a low price point as it did not have to contain any custom chips. Video can be played back at 30 FPS and at a resolution of 240 by 160 pixels, the full resolution of the GBA screen. Lixang also expected a wide range of content to be released for the system, including animated content, aka the anime shows, game and movie trailers, similar to what is available on the Pokémon cards, pictures, music, educational software titles, books, as well as karaoke. This is also backed up by a 2004 GameSpot article which claims that AM3 was also planning to release other peripherals that would work with different types of media. These included advanced picture for still images, advanced music for music, advanced comic for manga, and advanced Navi for maps. According to ASCII, AM3 would release animated content at first, but planned to also release other content such as books, so that the GBA and GBA-SP could be used for educational materials. Nintendo, however, prohibited the company from using the technology to distribute any games or adult materials. Looking at listings for the Smart Media Player on Amazon.co.jp, which can be found by searching for AM3 under the category TV Games, it can be seen that cards were released for many anime series including, but not limited to, Might and Tei Conan, Detective Conan also known as Case Closed, Pokémon, Lilaire's Genius Bakabon, Crayon Shinchan, and Time Boken. These releases could have either television series episodes or movies on them. During the time of the Nintendo DS, smart media cards continued to be released with Nintendo DS branding on the packaging, although they were still the same GBA cartridge design. AM3 would go on to release DisVision, which was a similar concept to the Smart Media Player, except it took micro SD TF cards and was housed in a special DS cartridge that looked similar to a DS flash card. The Actimage codec was announced by Shinji Hashimoto, the executive officer of Square Enix, to also be planned for use in the GBA game Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which did feature rendered cutscenes. Although from research I cannot find whether it was in fact this codec used to compress the video used in cutscenes, it likely was due to this announcement. In 2005, AM3 would also provide Poke Park Advanced Navi at Poke Park, the world's first Pokémon theme park, which was a video utilizing the advanced video technology and could be written free of charge onto a card using an advanced gashapon system. They also operated a lending system there, where a guest could pay 2,100 yen to rent a system with the card and movie, 2,000 yen being given back to the guest on the system's return. Currently, there does not appear to be much information on the internet about the AM3 smart media player, or at least it is not easily accessible. Many sites that contain information about the product such as lik-sang.com are no longer available, and many Western sites did not cover this product as it did not have an international release, unlike Game Boy Advance Video. It is likely that the smart media player was not released internationally due to the success of Game Boy Advance Video, and its much simpler nature, only requiring a cartridge for each video, instead of a bulky adapter with fancy media cards. Some information can be found through listings on sites such as amazon.co.jp, which is not normally used by people outside of Japan, which makes it hard for people to discover AM3's advanced video smart media player. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon, so you get notified when new videos release.